All right, so today what we're doing is we are looking at combining transformations. So what we've got here is just some an example. So I'm going to find the image of y equals just the square root of x, and what we're going to do is what we want is usually what they say under is just the word used. So I'm going to do two different ones. So the first one here is a dilation factor 2 from x-axis, followed by reflection in the x-axis. All right, so they're the things that we want to do. So first of all, what we need to do is have a look at what happens to our x and our y. So here's our original. So when we go back, the first thing is that we've got a dilation factor 2 from the x-axis. So when we move up from the x-axis, here we go. So from the x-axis, we're moving up from the x-axis. So what changes there is the y value gets bigger. So after this transformation, we got twice the y. And then what we are doing after that, and go back, is we're reflecting in the x-axis. So if we've got this thing here and we've got this point up there and we're reflecting in the x-axis, that means it comes down to there. So what happens is it changes from positive to negative. The y value does. So x equals, whoops, not equals, x and negative 2y. All right, so here's our original. And here's our image. I didn't spell that very well. Anyway. All right, so that's x dashed and y dashed. So x dashed is equal to x and y dashed is equal to negative 2y. Now, remember what we started with was y equals square root of x. So that's our original. So we need to replace the y and the x by expressions for y and x which have the image in them. So we need to divide by negative 2 over here for this one, and they cancel. And so then we'll replace the y by, so we're replacing the y by that. So y dashed over negative 2, and we are replacing the x by x dashed. And then what we would need to do is we would then need to times both sides by negative 2. Cancels there. And so y dashed would be negative 2 root x dashed. So our image is y equals negative 2 root x. All right. So that's the image of our equation under those two transformations. All right. So, oops, too many pages. So remembering y equals root x is what it is. So this time, we've got three things going. So first of all, we've got a dilation, factor 2 from the x-axis, as we did before. The second thing is translation, and the translation is 2 units in the positive x. All right, and then the third one is a translation again, 3 units in the negative y. All right, so we need to think about what's going on. So if we start with our original, x and y, and then we've got our dilation of factor 2 from the x-axis. Dilation of factor 2 from the x-axis means that that y value increases. All right, so the x stays the same, the y value increases by doubling. The next thing is translation in the positive x. So if we've got this point there, we're going to translate it in the positive x. We're going to add 2 to what it was. So if it was x here, it's now x plus 2. So we've now got x plus 2 and 2y. And the last one, translation 3 in the negative y. So if we've got a point that's here, and then the negative y is down that way, and we're taking 3 off, so that would be y minus 3. So the x doesn't change there. We've already got the 2y, and then we've got minus 3. All right, so here's our image. So x dashed, y dashed. And so now we've got in our y equals root x, and we find that x dashed is equal to, let's go back, here it is here, x plus 2, and y dashed is equal to, let's go back, y minus 3, 2y minus 3 I should say, 2y minus 3. Alright, and so here, up here, don't forget, this is the original x and y, so we need to replace the original x and y by an expression that includes them. So over here we need to take 2 from both sides. So x take 2 is equal to x. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put that in there when we get to it. All right, here add 3 to both sides. Forgot my dash. Then divide by 2. So y dash plus 3 over 2 is equal to y. And so now I'm going to take that and put it in there. Now they went a long way around there. Righto, so let's go over. So y dash plus 3 over 2 equals square root of x dash minus 2. So let me take that over to the next page. Yep, that's right. Square root of x dash take 2. All right, so I'm going to move this 2 that's down here, this one. To do that, I can times 2 both sides. So when I do that, they cancel, leaving me with y dash plus 3 equals 2 lots of the square root of x dash take 2. And then I need to then take 3 from both sides, and so then I get y dashed equals 2 square root x dash take 2, and then take 3 out over here. And so there is our image. And we'll probably leave we would then leave the dashes off. The dashes are just there to help us when we're doing the calculation, so that we try and not get confused when we do that. So there's our image. All right, so what we're up to now today is exercise 7C. We look at all of these questions. So you keep following that process all the time. You're halfway there. Try not to let the function bit confuse you. All right, so try not to let that function confuse you, whatever the function is. All right, so what we're trying to do, whatever that function is there, this part up the top, this part here, and what we do there, that doesn't change. All right, the only difference comes is when you're substituting these things. All right, so these expressions here, those two that I'm now putting in, those expressions there that you get, they're the same regardless of what your function is, okay? And so then you need to rearrange them to get the original by itself, and then you do the substitution into whatever that function might be. All right, if you get stuck and you need a hand with anything, make sure you then give me a yell.